Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today I need to tell you a story about Fusion Strike. And I need to explain all this stuff that's going on about Fusion Strike. However, I do need to give a very, very, very clear disclaimer before we get going. I'm talking about this because it's all out in the public realm. Everyone's, the story is out there. People are talking about it. Pictures are being shared, etc. So that's why I'm talking about it. But it is very, 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 very important to point out before we get going here that a lot of this is rumor and hearsay. I'm not sure anybody that's allowed to talk really knows the full story. And a lot of what I'm hearing is being exaggerated. So that is basically what we're going to be talking about today. But I just want everyone to know before we get going, this is not a story where everything is out there, and there is a lot of exaggeration, which I'm hoping I can help with. So let's start off with this picture. And if you look at this picture, what you're going to see is hits. Lots and lots of hits. Lots and lots of hits from Fusion Strike, including the big three. And that's the thing, right? When we look at Fusion Strike, one of the issues with Fusion Strike was that it was very literally the largest Pokemon TCG set we'd ever seen. Not an exaggeration or anything like that. Fusion Strike is literally the biggest set ever. And combined with that, there weren't very many good hits. So the big three to which I'm referring here, you have got the Special Art, the Alternate Art Mew VMAX, the Alternate Art Special Art Espeon VMAX, and the Alternate Art Special Art Gengar VMAX. If we go over to somewhere like TCG Player, for instance, and we go and have a look at, the prices, the most expensive cards from Fusion Strike, you will see that you've got these big three, and then it starts to drop pretty quickly. The drop becomes pretty gosh darn steep, even down to something like the Special Art Rare of Inteleon VMAX. It's not the same, ladies and gentlemen. Gengar is 185, Espeon is 130, Mew is about 80, and then Inteleon goes down to like 30. The drop-off is very, very steep. And that was one of the problems with Fusion Strike. The fact that there weren't that many hits, or at least, big, hits that you're going to be boasting about on Twitter and all of that, combined with the fact that it's the biggest set ever. And then we go back to this picture. And what this picture apparently shows, and I've heard enough things from enough people to be convinced that this is legit, is essentially somebody who, whether they were working for the factory or somebody else, somebody who had access to the factory at least, went and just nicked a bunch of the good cards. And this was discovered because, of course, what happens when you go and take all the good cards? Well, you have to try and sell them. So what do? You go to a card shop. Okay? What is a card shop going to do when somebody walks in with piles and piles of the best hits from a particular set? If they are not a terrible card shop, and very few of them actually are, they are going to get in touch with Pokemon and go, hey, so it seems like somebody's gotten all the hits from Fusion Strike, and they've come to try and sell them in my shop, and the shop is immediately going to be basically running around and going, hey Pokemon, this isn't cool, we don't like this. Now, the shop in question was apparently TCW, and they did actually go and post over on Facebook telling the story from their point of view. Again, this is not something that's coming from me. This is something that is coming from apparently the shop over on Facebook, and this seems legit. But like I say, all of this needs to be taken with a little bit of a pinch of salt. I think that's fair to say. So here's what they said. Many of you have recently heard a story involving stolen Fusion Strike hits and Trading Card World. Although the release of this information is unfortunate, the truth of the subject is as follows. TCW was approached by an individual inquiring if we were interested in purchasing hits from the set. TCW reviewed pics from the seller and advised they were either fake or stolen. Realising the amount of packs it would have required to obtain that quantity of hits, it seemed clear that one or the other was true. The seller explained his connection to the source, and TCW immediately contacted Pokémon through proper channels. The information was sent up the corporate ladder. Given the seriousness of the situation, Pokémon contacted TCW. They worked together to retrieve the stolen cards. Pokémon acknowledged Trading Card World for their critical contribution to the recovery of the stolen items. It was the largest return of stolen property to date. Trading Card World was asked to keep this information confidential while an active investigation was underway. With respect to that request, TCW has kept this story and their important involvement out of the spotlight. I hope you can appreciate the sensational aspect of the story and help to keep the facts straight while publicity seekers look to gain attention with misleading information. And we need to talk about that last part, because I think that last part is absolutely true. Because does anybody think for a second that these are all the hits and the packs actually went out without the hits? Does anybody actually think that it is likely that Pokemon went, oh no, someone's stolen all the good cards? Let's just send the packs out without the good cards and hope that nobody notices. Because I'm telling you now, there is absolutely zero chance that happened. And I've seen a bunch of what I'm hoping are jokes online with people going, oh, this is why, the hits are so hard to get in Fusion Strike. Nah. Not happening, ladies and gentlemen. There is absolutely no way whatsoever that happens. What this could have done is delayed the set. Now, it didn't, because Fusion Strike... we know we have a set like every few months, right? So Fusion Strike actually released on November the 12th. We always have a mid-November set, so that makes perfect sense that the set was not delayed. But it could have been. That's the kind of thing this could do. Because what a company might do in this situation, like I'm saying, it didn't happen, but what a company might do in this situation is go, someone's nicked all the hits. We are not sending this out without the hits. We need to print a whole bunch more secret rares, get the ratios up. We have to delay the set while this happens. That is within the realms of possibility that could have been a thing that happened. What is absolutely not in the realms of possibility is that Pokemon just went, oh no, someone's taken all the hits. Let's just send them out and hope no one notices. There is absolutely no way in the world that Pokemon would do that. And the reason is, if they do that and the story gets out, there's too much damage being done there. There is too much damage being done, and that's just not on the cards. There is no chance whatsoever that happens. So I'm telling you right now, anyone who wants to go down the conspiracy theory route of, well, this is why it's so hard to pull good cards in Fusion Strike, nah, no chance. It's a giant set, and the pull rates on these special art rare VMAXs is low anyway. Nobody's complaining that Sandaconda's hard to pull. It's a $4 card on TCG Player. We all know, well, I said, might not all know, but a lot of people know at this stage that the special art rares are printed on the same sheet. So, essentially, if they nicked the sheets or, the cut-up sheets or whatever of the hits of the special art rares, they would also have nicked the Sandacondas. And that would be just as rare as all the others, but it isn't. I feel 100% confident here that essentially what happened was these hits were nicked, and Pokemon just reprinted them so that they could get the ratios up, because there is absolutely no way Pokemon or any company is taking the risk of actually sending a card set out with a vastly reduced rate of good hits and just crossing their fingers that nobody notices. There is no way that's actually happened. And I've seen a bunch of people trying to sensationalize the story, but what actually happened was this. We know that these things were stolen. We know that the person who stole them was dumb enough to try and sell them all at once. We know that the shop they tried to sell them to was a good, respectable shop who immediately turned around to Pokemon and was like, mate, someone's nicked all your hits. Do you want to come grab them? And they got back, and that's what we know. What we can be extremely sure about is that Pokemon took steps to make sure that the hit rate was preserved and that essentially they were reprinted and chucked into packs because, firstly, it is only the very best cards that have risen in value because they're so sought after, and if all the hits were nicked, they would all be raising in value, not just the best ones. That happens in every single set. And that means that Pokemon must have fixed this problem before the set went out. And we're talking about it today because the story is out there. The picture is being shared far and wide. The shop involved has literally gone and posted in public on Facebook. So yeah, it's a kind of story we need to be covering, the kind of thing I need to be telling you. But half the reason I wanted to share this with you is very simply so that I could sit here and say, look, let's not go ridiculous. Let's not go pretending that Fusion Strike was actually sent out with a vastly lower number of hits. There's no way that happened, ladies and gentlemen. That is not realistic. So there we go. That's the story. Is it going to happen every set? No. It's a one-off thing where some employee went, or somebody with connections, went and nicked a whole bunch of the hits. It's an isolated incident which has clearly been sorted, and there's nothing to worry about here, and that is the thing I really want everyone to take away from this video. There is nothing to worry about. This stuff unfortunately happens in every single industry. There's always someone out there trying to ruin it for somebody else. The thing you should be happy about is that it got caught and fixed very, very quickly. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what your favourite card from Fusion Strike is. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Trevs99, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourself till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.